So first off, yes, Mote Plox made a video about this already, I know. But before you yell at me about that, I just want to let you know that his video came out almost 3 years ago. Not only has a lot changed since then, I also think he missed a few places. Plus, very few places on this list exist in both of our videos. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's get started. Number 10, Experiments Cave. The Experiments Cave is located just out of Frankenstein's castle. The only way to enter it is by pushing a gravestone out of the way and climbing inside. Once inside, it's a pretty disturbing sight. You see nothing but what I assume to be as failed experiments. Spiders with the heads of men, and wolves with the heads of women. There's not really too much lore behind these creatures, and not much is explained, but it's still extremely creepy. It really makes you wonder if you should be helping Frankenstein at all in the Creature of Frankenstein quest. Number 9, Draynor Manor. This one isn't necessarily that scary anymore, but it was our worst nightmare when we were new players. There's literally thousands of stories of players becoming stuck inside the manor for hours and hours. The history behind this manor stretches back hundreds of years in RuneScape's past. After his banishment from Mauritania, Count Draynor fled to the kingdom of Misthalin. He eventually made his home in what is now known as Draynor Village. It's unclear if the village or the manor came first, but either way the settlers in the village made a huge mistake by staying. The village was terrorized for centuries by the Count as he needed blood to survive. Even in his weakened state from being away from Mauritania, he still posed quite a threat until the player defeats him in the Vampire Slayer quest. The property is still fairly creepy even without the Count. It's filled with dead trees, some of which will grab you if you go near them, a gravestone, gallows, and many other creatures that inhabit the manor's interior. Number 8, Misthalin Mystery. This is the name of a quest rather than an actual location. This is because the island doesn't really seem to have an actual name. If you haven't completed the quest, chances are you've never visited the island either. The island houses nothing but a creepy mansion where you have to solve a murder mystery. Creepiest of all, the island doesn't have any music. If you were to log into the island with your music player on, it would be completely silent. The island doesn't seem to have much lore behind it, but it's still quite scary and definitely deserves a spot on this list. Number 7, Camp Sapphire Lagoon. This island is probably the newest place on this list as it was released just a few days ago along with the Halloween event. To fans of horror movies, it's clear the island is meant to be a reference to Camp Crystal Lake featured in the Friday the 13th movie. In fact, the entire event is just one big reference to the Friday the 13th franchise. Without giving away too much, the event basically involves you capturing an evil spirit by the name of Jonas. If you rearrange his name, it actually spells Jason. If you couldn't already guess by his appearance, it's pretty clear he's supposed to be Jason, the killer from the movies. Number 6, Tolna's Rift. This one is probably one of the most disturbing ones on this list and has for sure scared quite a few streamers.
Hello? Woo! Jesus!
Anyway, for those of you who don't know what this is, Tolna's Rift is the place you have to climb in during the quest A Soul's Bane. The lore behind it is that a young boy named Tolna left his home in Varrock for an exciting life without his parents. Soon after, he discovered a crevice in the woods, and as he walked closer to look inside, he fell in. Little did Tolna know he would be imprisoned in this rift for the next 25 years. Tolna's emotions somehow managed to change the rift. His emotions of fear, confusion, anger, and hopelessness caused the cavern to form into what it is today. Overall, it's just a very dark and scary subject, with his emotions being portrayed by the many creatures that inhabit the cavern to this day. Number 5, Mort'ton Swamp. The Mort'ton Swamp takes up a massive chunk of the Kingdom of Mauritania. It is a barrier you need to cross through in order to get to all of the towns in the southern part of the kingdom. The swamp may be an easy journey for experienced adventurers, but some were not so lucky. The swamp contains snails, swamp decay, and ghasts. Ghasts are the spirits of adventurers who died while traversing the swamp. Starving adventurers would get lost, develop a ghastly state, die, and become ghasts themselves. Those adventurers are now forever trapped in the swamp doing nothing but turning even more people into ghasts. They do so by rotting away any food that is brought inside. The swamp is so dangerous to the inhabitants of Gielinor that the guard at the entrance is shocked if you ever return from it. Number 4, Mort'ton. Even before becoming what it is today, the town of Mort'ton was extremely creepy. Apparently, it used to be a quiet market town that specialized in death. The villagers used the naturally formed caves underneath the town as pretty much a huge catacomb. As a result of this, it became a popular place for people to bury their dead. Foul vapors from the Sanguensti region put a curse on the villagers, turning them into beings known as afflicted. When trying to speak with one, they will say nothing but nonsense. To make matters worse, the dead below the town were resurrected by these vapors, and now roam the town as lore shades. Mort'ton is overall just a very sad and depressing place if you ask me. Number 3. The Underground Pass. The Underground Pass is easily one of the darkest and creepiest places in all of RuneScape. A once popular trading route used by elves, now left in ruins by the self-proclaimed son of Zamorak, Ivan. If the traps, puzzles, and monsters aren't creepy enough, the quest based around this area will surely scare you. Randomly throughout this quest, you'll receive extremely disturbing messages in your chat box, such as blood, pain, and hate, and death is only the beginning. If that's not scary enough, you also extremely graphically crush a unicorn with a boulder and remove its horn during the quest. It just might be the most gruesome thing I've ever seen in RuneScape, to be honest. Number 2. The Abandoned Mine. The Abandoned Mine, also known as the Mort Ridge Mine, is an old mining facility found in Mauritania. The history behind it is sometime in the 4th Age, a large ore vein was discovered where the mine is located. It contained rich deposits of mithril, adamant, and other ores. The mine grew and grew until it became the biggest mine known to the world at the time. All was going well until the workers dug a bit too deep. They discovered something they probably shouldn't have. Lord Draken, the ruler of Mauritania, was informed of what they had found and immediately ordered the mine to be closed. Rather than give anyone time to evacuate, he killed or trapped every single slave, vampire, and crewman still left inside. What was found in the mine was kept a secret until you complete the Haunted Mine quest. In the quest, you discovered that the workers had found the river Salve was leaking into the mine. The river had been blessed by Saradominus long before this, and was passing the blessing onto the crystals found in the mine. These crystals caused any unholy creature near them to be severely weakened or in some cases killed. To prevent the Saradominus from obtaining these crystals, Draken had the mine destroyed. Overall, this is just a very sad story, and the fact that you explore it in a quest adds to how creepy of a place it is. Number 1. Zul-Andra. This area, as most of you know, is exclusive to old school RuneScape and was introduced in early 2015 along with Zul'Andra. The lore behind it is a group of people were trying to escape the elven clans by running south into the Poison Waste. They escaped but had no food. The group attempted to fish for eels but had no luck, and as a result decided to camp out with 3 gnomes nearby. They were named Harsinqua, Harsinqua's mother, and Rento, who is Harsinqua's brother. The gnomes had been visiting the area at the same time. During the night, the massive serpent Zul'Andra attacked the group and ate 5 men. The group wished to leave the swamp, but Harsinqua's mother came up with a plan that they would try the next night. She ordered the men to build a huge campfire where they were attacked to attract Zul'Andra. When Zul'Andra appears the next night, Harsinqua's mother holds up her son Rento and signals the serpent to eat him. After Zul'Andra devours him, Harsinqua's mother has a discussion with the snake. She says that if it lets them live, they will bring it sacrifices regularly and even worship it as their god. Zul'Andra agrees and disappears back into the swamp. Although Harsinqua's mother has since died, Harsinqua herself has taken over the role of High Priestess, and sacrifices still happen to this day to ensure the village survives. So I hope you all enjoyed that video. It took quite a bit of research, so go ahead and drop a like if you enjoyed it. Other than that, feel free to watch the rest of the Halloween themed videos I've made this month. Last week's video was a little more lighthearted than this one, so maybe give that one a view. Anyway, I'll see you next time.